What's up, Yuma? We are back for another community spotlight showcase. I'm actually super excited. We're about to interview, I think, Yuma's best realtor, Erica Rivera. And when I found out that she actually does content and she has a similar idea to what we're doing with Yuma Clinical Trials community videos, I was like, what better person to interview for one of our spotlights than her? So we're gonna learn about Yuma, learn about the different neighborhoods, learn about the unique opportunities that exist in Yuma. So whether you are somebody that lives in Yuma or somebody considering moving here, there's gonna be something in here for you. Really quick, before we go in there and meet Erica, I wanted to tell you we have a couple of studies going on. We have studies for depression, COPD, obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and a whole lot more. So if you're interested, call or text at 928-615-5667. And with that being said, let's go in there and meet Erica. I'm really excited about this. I hope she's home. I hope she answers.
Hi,
hey,
how are you?
Good.
How's it
nice
going,
to
Dan?
meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You've been doing a lot of good stuff on Instagram, and
I appreciate it. Thank you. I've heard a lot of great things about you, and I follow you as well, and love your content, love everything you do.
Thank you. Yeah, I like the philosophy of what you have going on, interviewing local businesses in Yuma. And we're in Los Barrancos, which is a maybe underappreciated part of town.
I feel it is only because the location. So we are as far east in Yuma as we can go before having to cross over Telegraph Pass or head to Welton. So, but it is a beautiful community. I love the neighborhood for many reasons, but in particular the construction. I love the energy efficiency of these homes. They are quality construction, and their luxury finishes are also absolutely stunning. Tile all throughout. They have beautiful kitchens, waterfall type countertops, granite, anything.
Newer builds.
New builds. So they are currently, so this development, this subdivision is called Las Barrancas. And this home that we are standing in is currently on the market. So we're featuring this home, we're highlighting this home and hosting an open house this week. But I love the community, I love the area because I personally am a golfer. And we are in Las Barrancas golf course. There is a golf course a few hundred feet away.
Yep.
And they are also building a state-of-the-art clubhouse pretty soon.
I heard about that. It's supposed to have a nice restaurant.
Yeah, a nice little driving range.
So for people that don't know this part of town, and by the way, I recommend everybody go connect with Erica. We'll put her LinkedIn underneath this video, and if it's on Instagram, we'll tag you there. But for people that don't understand the dynamics of the foothills compared to Yuma, because a lot of the comments you might hear, well, that's so far away from Yuma. Why would I buy a house out there?
Right.
Can you kind of just walk us through this community and then maybe discuss the foothills in general?
Sure, absolutely. So foothills, we are approximately 10 to 15 miles. Right now we're about 15 miles from Yuma proper, within the city of Yuma. So Foothills has grown tremendously within the last, I would say, 5 to 10 years. I personally moved out to the Foothills about 15 years ago. I'm born and raised in Yuma.
So you live in the Foothills? I
live in the Foothills,
okay.
Yes, and I absolutely love it. Foothills has grown tremendously. We have a lot of restaurants, shops, retail, medical going up, and it's lots of homes being built.
And a lot more stuff happening.
Absolutely.
So we can talk about some of the other stuff.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Yeah, as we go along.
There's a lot going on.
Yes, a little too much, and it's I love sharing this information with my clients and colleagues and friends like you. So yeah.
So we are actually here in the Foothills, which is a high growth area for Yuma.
Yes.
I hear people saying like new Yuma. What do they mean by that when they say new Yuma? I've heard that multiple times in the last few months.
So I feel people are calling the Foothills area New Yuma because of all the development in the Foothills area. At one point, and as recent as 5 years ago, we did not have the population that we have out here. It's
in 5 years.
Yeah.
Like post-COVID, I think a lot of people left California.
They did.
Myself included.
Yeah, at one point, 50% of my clients were from California. Half of my clients were buyers from California.
And where did they buy? Where did
In the
those people?
foothills.
All of them.
Their thing was, I have friends, family in Yuma, and they say buy in the foothills, buy in the foothills. And I understand why, because there's so much development, there's so much growth, so much construction out here, because at one point it was nothing but dirt. So a lot of land to build on. We have a lot of businesses coming in, such as Sprouts. They're
Everyone's
near
excited
completion.
about that.
Lots of restaurants. We have a lot of, just in my neighborhood alone, just adjacent to my neighborhood, there's 2,000 homes being built. And, at one point, again, like I said, it was all land. It was all
I heard
desert.
chili pepper too.
Chili peppers coming in.
Is that confirmed?
It is confirmed. The sign is up on Fortuna Road.
Oh, it's on. The sign is up already.
The sign is up. Yes.
Wow.
So yeah,
We gotta do an interview there.
We have we have some hotels coming up too, and just a lot of development.
Really? Hotels?
Yeah, a lot of development going up. So
you still recommend foothills to people moving from outside of Yuma?
I feel if they want new and just slightly lower in price, foothills is the way to go.
So still slightly lower.
Correct.
You
Yes.
think that'll last for a while, or?
No, I think as soon as we run out of land to build on here, prices are going to start going up. Resale
Right.
usually drives prices up.
Yeah, because I remember when we were moving post-COVID to start this clinic, and my wife is from Yuma, so we're familiar with Yuma. We actually looked in town, and then we looked out in foothills, and it was significantly cheaper because at the time, the perception was, well, it's so far out from everything, you're like getting a discount.
Sure.
But that we're starting to catch up now, I guess.
Right. Yes, you will. A house, same exact house. You have two identical homes. One's in Yuma, one's in the foothills. You're looking at paying about $15,000 less out here in the foothills. Not only that, but Yuma County taxes, property taxes, are slightly lower than city taxes. So something to think about as well.
I had no clue.
Yeah, absolutely. So property tax is the same. City tax versus county tax, a little less.
And good neighborhoods in Foothills. So we're in Barrancas now.
We're in Las Barrancas. This is considered a high-end luxury neighborhood, and because you are on a golf course, and so you have beautiful construction out here. You have areas such as Mesa del Sol. That's an older neighborhood, but you do have a lot of newer development there as well. And you're looking at more custom homes there. You're on the golf course. Beautiful homes. So that's another neighborhood to look at when you're moving out to Yuma and considering the foothills area. You have development off Fortuna Road, which is the area of Southern Skies. Fortuna and 40th Street, a lot of development there as well. You have Los Agaves subdivision, and I live not too far from there, so I see the development, I see the construction, I see the growth. So those are areas to pay attention to if you're considering foothills area.
And then for those not considering foothills area.
So there's many different areas in Yuma that it just depends on what you're looking for, what your lifestyle is, what you're wanting to be close to. For example, what we consider the west side, the valley area, over off of, I would say, anywhere between Avenue B to Avenue C, 16th Street, 30 to 32nd Street. You have a lot of neighborhoods there, more established neighborhoods. And then you have newer development, Park West, Falls Ranch, you have Livingston Ranch. And the reason a lot of people want those neighborhoods are because you have schools. You're surrounded by schools. You have a lot of retail as well. You're close to medical. You're close to office. You're close to a lot of amenities there. So those are more family friendly neighborhoods that if you have younger kids, you're gonna look to buy in that area.
At the time we were considering moving, we wanted to have kids when we came out here. That was the number one reason why we came out, to be closer to my wife's family. And the biggest drawback was the hospital being so far from where we are, because if she was going to get pregnant, you don't want like a 25-minute drive or for any emergency. But now they have that Exceptional.
We have Exceptional Hospital out in the foothills, and then we have another hospital on Vita.
Yep.
So their second hospital was built here.
That's brand new. 'Cause
Brand
when
new.
we moved out, there was
an
not out
entire hospital, full service, and yes, you have Exceptional Hospital.
So those drawbacks from the past, even 5 years ago, are no longer.
Are now actually enticing amenities for moving out to the foothills. You really do not have to go out to or drive into town 10 miles west to, get whatever it is that you're looking for. So
until they start doing, until Chili Peppers.
Until
open,
Chili
right?
Pepper.
Yeah.
And we're getting a Del Sol also.
I heard.
Yeah.
I've heard that one for years.
Yeah. Well, it's almost near completion as well.
And where is that going to be?
That one's off Foothills Boulevard.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Just maybe a couple miles down.
Yeah,
the
my
road.
wife's been super excited about that one,
Yeah.
but she's for like 5 years.
I'm excited.
I'll believe it when I see it, Erica.
It is. It's up. Yeah.
Yeah?
All they have to do is hire people and slap the sign on the building.
Wow.
That's it. So it's done. It's a done deal. So.
Okay. So what, like, we're hearing other things on Vita, expanded here, Exceptional.
Mm-hmm.
For a long time, Yuma was known as either hospital or military town.
Mm-hmm. Government.
It's government. It's starting to change little.
Sure.
We have SpaceX. Is that a rumor or is it true?
So they actually, so the mayor's been working with SpaceX to bring a launch, a spaceport to Yuma. And it's not a rumor, and they've been doing some trials here. If all goes well, we should have a spaceport end of 26, early 2027. So just in a
Wow.
couple of years. Yeah, lots.
So SpaceX.
SpaceX, yes, will likely be coming to Yuma. And we also have Amazon. Amazon is officially in Yuma. They have a delivery distribution center that is being built at the corner of 36th Street and Avenue 4E, if I'm not mistaken, in that area.
Okay.
So that's supposed to bring 450 jobs or so to Yuma. Lots of large companies coming to Yuma. And I feel that they're coming to Yuma because, we still have a lot of land to build on, a lot of opportunity. The cost of land is a lot less than, for example, the Phoenix area.
Yeah, even Phoenix.
Yeah.
Like they've spread out.
Correct.
Because you have clients in
Yes,
Phoenix as
yeah.
well.
I mean, Buckeye used to be just farmland.
I remember Buckeye from 20 years ago, people were saying that will be bigger than Phoenix one day.
Yeah.
But it's sprawl. The urban sprawl definitely reached
Sure.
Buckeye. But
Sure. It wouldn't be crazy to think that Buckeye will one day connect to Gila Bend.
huh. Yeah.
It's getting
Because it
there.
almost
It
already
almost does. Yes. Yeah. So, and then Gila Bend will eventually connect to our smaller towns out east, such as Tacna, Dateland, Welton.
Which is what we were talking about. So you have, I saw one of your posts
Mm-hmm.
recently was about Welton or something.
So Dateland.
Dateland.
Dateland is east of a few miles east of Welton, and it's still considered a rural area. But you have Tacna, you have Dateland, you have Welton, all of those little towns spread out. Lots of opportunity there, lots of land available. So Dateland, I do have right now. I have 14 or so 1-acre parcels available, and you can buy an acre for, I would say, $8,000 to $10,000 right now. Undeveloped, of course. You have to put in your well, you have to put in, install it, utilities and build your infrastructure. However, the reason that I bring this, I point it out is because there is a cobalt processing plant that is going to be built in Tacna pretty soon. And that is one of 2 manufacturing plants in the world and the only one in North America.
Wow.
So they're basically building batteries for electric vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're bringing to Yuma County.
The EV, I remember Lucid Motors,
Yes.
Casa Grande. They're still there, right?
They're still there. Yeah.
I
Actually,
remember
have
that
stock in
was,
Lucid.
yeah, that was the buzz around town or
Yeah.
around Casa Grande because I know some people
Sure.
that moved out there.
Yeah.
The other one is north in Phoenix, the chip manufacturer.
Yes. Yep.
TSMC, I think. TMC.
MC.
Something like this.
Yeah.
They're the one.
TCSM, I think.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
They're the only ones making in the U.S. chips like NVIDIA style chips
Yeah.
for the AI revolution, and that's just north of Phoenix, like when you're going to Flagstaff.
Yeah.
I think Sun City or
Mm-hmm.
somewhere around there. So you're seeing a lot of innovation like this
Yes.
happening, which in Yuma previously you would just have the Yuma Proving Grounds.
You had, well, your two military installations. You have Marine Corps Air Station and you have Yuma Proving Grounds. So they were, they were definitely one of the major contributors for our economic development and our just economy in general. We have military, where we have government, a lot of federal agents because we're so close to the border.
And you went to conspiracy. Oh yeah, the Border Patrol.
Yeah,
for
Border
sure.
Patrol.
That's a big employer.
Yeah, Customs.
We forgot to mention that.
Yeah, and then we have a hospital, medical. A lot of medical staff, a lot of doctors, nurses coming in.
A lot of traveling nurses.
A lot of traveling nurses, yes.
I actually want to get your take on investing in Yuma in a little bit, but for those conspiracy junkies, deep underground military base. I went down the rabbit hole about a month ago. These mountains right here, the Gila Ridge, it's supposed to be one of 20 deep underground military base, like secret ones in the U.S. right here on Gila Ridge. And someone that lives out here, I've seen some weird things at night.
Yeah.
That you're not supposed to see. So do your homework on this.
Go out, yeah, absolutely.
Do you know anything about this? Like secret?
I've heard, conspiracy theories, and throughout the years, born and raised in Yuma, I've heard it all. But is
Deep
there
underground military base? Look it up. Gila Ridge.
Are there some areas or spaces in Yuma that we don't know about? Yes, absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
But playing the flip side of this, I did some off-roading out there, and if that was really there, they would be way more restrictive. They let you pretty much go anywhere. So that doesn't lead credence to this conspiracy, although maybe the entrance is somewhere we don't know.
I am almost certain that it would be in the most remote,
in the actual mountain itself.
Right? It's right off the road, right off Highway 95, where we least expect it.
Really?
Likely under the tanks that you see going under, as you go into YPG. So.
Yeah, just Google it, guys.
Right.
It'll take you a couple hours. But, okay, so is Yuma... I heard some people around Foothills joke that Yuma is San Diego East, especially after COVID. They'd be joking like, hey, half of the neighborhood's like from San Diego. Is it more connected to the San Diego market or the Phoenix market when it comes to real estate prices?
I feel so. We're still, our prices still reflect Arizona. However, as I mentioned, 50% of my clients at one point were from not just California, but mostly San Diego.
Yeah.
Now, so we have Martinez Lake, we have Fisher's Landing, we have a lot of recreational water areas. During the summer, even in 115-degree weather, we have a large population from San Diego come to Yuma, bring their boats, and spend their summers on the lake. And with that, I have a lot of people who buy here, especially out in the foothills, because they want something that will accommodate boats, their off-road vehicles. And so they just travel back and forth. And so I feel we are more connected to Californians, people, like I said, from Southern California who are interested in buying here. So,
yeah, I've seen that as well. Now, around town, how long have you been a realtor? Yeah.
I've been an agent for 8 years.
8 years. Yes. And then you have clients. Your home base is here in Yuma. You're born and raised.
Born and raised in Yuma, yes.
And you also do in Phoenix?
Yes, I practice in Phoenix. I have a few, actually just locked down a house for a client of mine from the East Coast. Just got them under contract in the Scottsdale area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What made you, when you grew up here, born and raised, you must have interacted with realtors before. I haven't met someone like you in Yuma. This is like, if I were a realtor, I'd probably try to do what you're doing to actually take control over the marketing and be a resource for the community, more so than just providing your services and talking
Right.
about that. But you're going to start doing this restaurant series,
Yes,
and
I'm
you've been
excited.
doing all kinds of cool things with Daniel. Just talk a little bit about that and what inspired you to do that,
Sure.
being born and raised in Yuma.
So we have this. So being born and raised in Yuma, and I have family who have who were born and raised in Yuma, but have since moved to larger cities. I always. I mean, almost always, I was asked, why are you still in Yuma? Why do you still live in Yuma? There's nothing in Yuma. There's nothing for you to do. And so we're the armpit of Arizona.
How
It
do you
was
feel
just,
about that?
so at one point, I took it personally, because this is my hometown. This is home for me. So I would take it personally. But throughout the years, getting into real estate and seeing the want and the not just the need, but the people actually wanting to move to Yuma, the desire,
Yeah.
because they see so many things that a lot of people didn't or hadn't seen before. They just saw the value of buying in Yuma.
Yeah.
So that got me more motivated to really highlight Yuma as a great place to buy, great place to live. If you can weather the heat for a few months.
Yeah, which starting now
Yeah, exactly.
for a few months.
It's only a cool 110 degrees.
Somebody else who was born and raised in Yuma, I won't put them on blast, but they told me Yuma, when you live in Yuma, it's like you're living in like behind a glass watching the world move, but you're like you're like separated from it. And it makes sense because I come from a pretty big city, Anaheim, Orange County. Like, it's a lot of hustle and bustle. But in many ways, the American dream is more alive here than in bigger cities. And I think you can throw Phoenix into this
Sure,
as well.
absolutely.
Like, to afford a home, that's the quintessential American dream.
Sure.
It's almost unfathomable in Orange County,
Yeah.
in San Diego, for like a young family to do that.
Absolutely.
Whereas in Yuma, that's still a very attainable goal for anyone.
Absolutely, it is, and I can tell you from personal experience. And let me talk to you a little bit about what I have done, what I have been able to do living in Yuma. Living in Phoenix, living in California, or anywhere, I would not have been able to do this, right? So I got into real estate, and I started working hard. I started, building my network and building my business. And little by little, I started investing. I started buying rental properties, investment properties, turning them into long-term rentals, and just kept doing that. And not even focused on what I was bringing in, every month or annually, whatever. I would just collect a certain amount, down payment. So, and me as a one-man show, I was doing that all on my own. So starting from nothing to now, and I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but owning 8 investment properties and buying all those in a span of 5 years.
Yeah.
Where else, in addition to that, building several businesses and buying, what was the home of my dreams, where else would I have been able to do that?
And having a podcast and recursively bringing it back to the community.
Sure, absolutely. Phoenix, it would have been a much more difficult process. Could
Phoenix,
I have done it?
They used to be attainable.
It used to be, correct.
Pre-COVID, I think.
Yes, absolutely.
San Diego and Orange County a long time ago, that was lost.
Right. So I feel, and I feel Yuma still, to me, it's a hidden gem. And the reasons why are, and I explain this to clients or anyone who's interested or considering Yuma, is we're 2 hours, a 2-hour drive to Phoenix. So if you want to go to a large metropolitan city, you're a 2-hour drive away. you are 2 hours to the beach. So if you want to go to cooler weather in the summer, you're a 2 hour drive to San Diego, right? You can wake up on a Saturday morning, decide to go to the beach, and be back in your bed that night.
Yep.
So we're a 4.5 hour drive to Las Vegas. You want to go spend a weekend in Vegas? You're a 4.5 hour drive. You don't have to hop on a plane to go to these destinations that many people wish they were closer to.
Right.
In addition to that, you can afford to live in Yuma and own a home. Your dollar goes a lot further in Yuma.
Yeah.
You know, right now, a price per square foot on a home here is about $205. You're going to the Phoenix area, you're in the $350 per square foot range.
Yeah.
San Diego, you're in the thousands. So but again, you know, you have so many, our backyard playground are all of these major cities. And you can come home and still afford to be able to travel or, you know, go to the movies or, you know. So I feel if you invest wisely, you can definitely make your dollar go a lot further here in Yuma.
I agree. I think when I met my wife 20 years ago, she was from Yuma. And I would drive here to pick her up, go to Orange County, come back. We had a long distance relationship for like a year or two. But I told myself, man, I would never live in Yuma. I said these words.
Yeah.
And here I am. And when we moved here, I thought I wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
And that's actually very surprised. Like, I actually do enjoy it.
Sure.
I think, like you said, in many ways it's a hidden gem. The summers are brutal, but I mean, you've got real estate that's affordable. That's the part where we have family members that are just starting out in life.
Yeah.
They actually have a chance here. In
They do.
Orange County, you're a forever renter.
Yeah.
And you're doing that rat race.
Mm-hmm.
San Diego, Phoenix, same thing. But here you actually have a chance.
You have a shot at owning real estate. The thing about it is, for most first-time home buyers, this is the problem that I see happening a lot. People, you know, first-time home buyers come to me and they have these high expectations. They want their dream home. They want their forever home.
They want that dream home right away.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you have champagne taste on a beer budget. My philosophy is start with get your foot in the door. Buy a condo. Buy something that you can own and use as a savings account. Have it build equity. In 3 years, you're going to be calling me wanting to sell that and upgrade to your next home. All of that equity, the savings that you have in that home, dump it into the next home and the next and the next. The average home buyer buys 5 to 6 homes in their lifetime. So you're at one point, if you do it correctly, you might be able to buy your dream home cash or close to cash.
Right.
So it's an expectation that these expectations are challenges for me when it comes to working with first-time home buyers. But when I put it in that perspective, when I tell them, because and I speak from first-hand experience because that's what I did, and so I tell them you just have to be patient. You have to be patient. Get your foot in the door because 30, 40, 50 years from now, you're not even going to be able to buy. You have all of these large major builders building all of these communities, and they're offering these communities for rent. You cannot buy a home. Yeah.
And then they're for rent.
For rent. That won't even be an option.
So that conspiracy theory of, well, it's not a conspiracy theory, but you will own nothing and be happy, which I think was said by the World Economic Forum a couple years ago. And then they said, oh, no, we didn't mean it that way. We meant, everyone's Ubering and you don't need a car. But no, they did mean the greatest way to generate wealth in this country in the slow and steady way is through real estate.
Correct.
And they're doing it.
Yes.
The elites.
Yes. Most wealthy millionaires, billionaires have made their wealth through real estate. And it doesn't happen overnight. It does not happen overnight. You build your wealth, you build it. And if you're not trying to become a billionaire, which I don't know who wouldn't want to be, but at one point, what you're doing, you should focus on building generational wealth.
Right.
Do it to build to have that security blanket for not only you, but your children, your spouse, even for a rainy day, if God forbid someone, in the family has an emergency, or, you need a new roof or whatever the case may be, you can always pull from the equity of your house.
Yeah. I think, what's the stat? Fewer than, I think it was like only 20% of Americans have $2,000 in their savings account or something for an emergency.
Correct.
Something crazy like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of that's due to being in these big cities and
right.
everything you make, you spend.
Correct. Yeah. You have no other choice. You have no other choice because you are living in a big city and you're paying those prices.
Mm-hmm.
You're
paying a premium for it.
A premium. Absolutely.
And it's not that, like, the pay is not that much better.
Correct.
And that's another thing this guy told me, who will remain nameless. He said, you feel like you're in a glass and you're watching everything go by. He also said, and I can attest to this myself, you can just copy what other businesses do outside of Yuma and do it here.
Right.
So when I moved here, I was like, well, there's got to be a reason no one did a clinical research site in Yuma. Like, there's got to be a good reason. Maybe there's not enough of a market.
Mm-hmm.
No, the reason was it's just small enough of a market to where no one did it.
Right.
And so if you are in a competitive industry in San Diego or Orange County, I mean, there's tons of competition. Phoenix, too.
Right.
There's a good chance in Yuma you're one of one.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I completely understand. I mean, this is untapped territory for a lot of different types of businesses or skill sets. That's another thing that I see, and one of the reasons why we don't have a lot of a wide variety of industries such as yourself is because right out of high school, kids tend to want to leave, and I'm leaving Yuma. And
you think that's changing?
I think that's changing, and along with that, when these kids leave, they go to college, they they get their education, degrees, and they start building these skill sets. Some of them come back, and that's why we're starting to see a lot of this being implemented, a lot of these happening here.
So you see like a mini renaissance in Yuma.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's interesting. And then as far as investing, you work with not just first-time home buyers and sellers, but investors.
Investors, yeah. I'm an investor myself, and I see the opportunity. I see the opportunity to build generational wealth here, and wealth in general. There's a lot of opportunities if you know how to basically approach. If you have a strategy, you have to have a strategy when it comes to investing. You can't go and buy something if the numbers don't work for what you're trying to do with it. If you're trying to buy your dream home, of course, you're going to look at it. The numbers will be different for you, such as mortgage payment, down payment, than if you're buying an investment property. Mm-hmm. Of course, you have to make sure that either the purchase price is right, your monthly mortgage payment is going to be correct, because you have to be able to bring in that revenue for an investment property.
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot that people looking to create wealth should be looking at real estate.
Absolutely.
And, I think when you're in a place like Yuma, you can kind of make more mistakes and still not suffer the consequence, I think, compared to other cities where, like, you make one bad investment, you're done. You never want to do it again. I think you can recover a little bit quicker in a place like Yuma.
Sure. And there's a lot more competition in bigger cities, of course. Here, if you, like I said, if you team up with the right people, right agent, right lender, and have a strategy and a good approach, you're going to be fine.
So 10 years, if you could maybe make predictions, 10 years from now, is Yuma, like, what does Yuma look like? Is it a lot bigger than it currently is?
It's going to be a lot bigger because of the opportunity, the large companies that are coming into Yuma. They're putting Yuma on the map, and it's going to grow. We are growing by a lot. I would say we're growing probably about 20 and this is a large number, 20% every 5 to 10 years. That's huge. 10 years ago, our population was roughly 80,000. Right now, we're probably about 120. And that's year round. In the winter months, our population doubles. It truly doubles in size because of because of agriculture. Snowbirds are winter visitors, and just seasonal workers. So, yeah, it nearly doubles in size, and a lot of them I'm starting to notice that aren't leaving. They're not leaving.
So the snowbirds that don't leave?
They call me and say, you know what, we're not going to leave. We're going to stay, and we want to buy a house.
Huh.
So, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. And Yuma, again, Yuma's a hidden gem. And if you think about it,
the winters here, like,
oh, they're gorgeous.
Between
I would say like
October
November late October, early November till May.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's San Diego weather. It's beautiful weather. So
it's better than San Diego in some months.
Yeah.
Because you get the dry heat over there in October with the wildfires, and
that is
one of the things you don't really have too much of.
Right.
In Yuma.
Here. Yeah. So no, it's Yuma's a great place. I feel it's my heart is in Yuma.
Yeah.
But do I like to visit new places? Absolutely.
We've seen the vlogs. You went to Chicago.
Yeah.
I'm going back next
week. Yeah. Just business trips, and definitely I'm expanding my horizons. So yeah, I definitely want to, like I said, I'm just getting started, and I'm nowhere near where I want to be, and I still don't even know what I want to do when I grow up. So
I like that.
Yeah. So.
Well, thank you so much for this interview.
Sure.
Everybody needs to go connect with Erica on Instagram, and if you're looking for a home, buying or selling or investing, or just curious about Yuma, this is somebody who's been born and raised and is not going anywhere.
I'm here to stay.
Right.
Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Erica.
And it's been an honor. I look forward to another episode
Some
soon.
collabs, maybe a chili pepper collab.
Let's do it.
All right. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Go connect with Erica. Bye-bye.
Have a good one.